money is coming from?
Look, really consistent in trend. Crypto investing is here to stay. The phrase I really like, that's look into my portfolio and gaze into my soul. And if you look at what we're seeing, gold products, 20 billion in outflows over the last 2 quarters, crypto products, 7 billion in inflows over the last 2 consecutive quarters. This is a real trend. Capital is floating out of traditional alternatives and diverse gold in Bitcoin. I think Q2, we've just kicked off the quarter, but already continue to show that trend.
How do you think about the new products that are coming on the market? Yes, the companies that are filing for ETFs will have been volatility in Bitcoin with more and more entry points, more and more on-ramp, so to speak, the market?
Yeah, it's really been interesting to see, historically the banks shunned, which is why the crypto ecosystem really developed for its first 5 years outside of the traditional financial system. Now, as we've seen over the last few months, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, you name it, all of the world's largest asset managers and institutions are looking to get in offering Bitcoin and crypto investment products to their clients. However, at this point, as we've seen at CoinShares, we publicly listed in March, Coinbase publicly listing next week. There are now a number of avenues through which investors are getting exposure to cryptocurrency, actually through structured products. I mean, the numbers Coinbase posted for their Q1, 1.5 billion in EBITDA in the last quarter. If they continue that, they'll be larger than every single US exchange in terms of volume and earnings. That's a pretty phenomenal accomplishment. So to me, it's sort of shocking that banks aren't moving more quickly. And it's a question to see, can traditional financial services catch up with crypto financial institutions? At CoinShares, we say probably not so fast and maybe not ever. We'll see.
And I'll ask you a question to that point, and you may or may not be able to answer, but I know you can answer, Melton, just because of all the conversations we've had in the past. When investors are thinking about Coinbase and they've read the filing and they see that the volatility is going to be much tied to Bitcoin, they then ask themselves, why don't I put $1 into Bitcoin as opposed to $1 into a Coinbase, particularly when Bitcoin, the correlation between Bitcoin and a lot of other altcoins are so high at this point. It's really a bet on Bitcoin at this point in time. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, one trend we track closely in the industry, cryptocurrency is now over $2 trillion market in aggregate. Of that, Bitcoin is still 55%, Ethereum is about 12%. So as you alluded to, a lot of things in the crypto space have a beta of 1 to Bitcoin, right? They're closely correlated. And one of the key questions in terms of exposure is when you're buying a crypto equity, right, exposure to a company, are you really buying exposure to the underlying asset? What's been interesting to observe as crypto companies get more integrated into the financial services sector is some volatility is going away because some of these offerings are not always direct tied to revenues and to prices. They're really tied to transaction volumes or increased activity in the crypto sphere. So I think over time that relationship will continue to decline. And Bitcoin's volatility, in our view, is part of the price of opportunity. I continue to believe allocating to the assets themselves as well as the companies emerging will continue to be an attractive value prop. And over time, those two probably will begin to diverge more, but we're still in the early innings, and there is, as you noted, still a high degree of correlation.
I'm glad that you mentioned the volatility in Bitcoin and the opportunity there, because one bank that shunned Bitcoin early on, JP Morgan, they actually have an analyst now follows cryptocurrency, and that analyst basically said that once the volatility of Bitcoin reaches to the volatility of gold, that's when institutions be scared to get in. But at that point, in a world in which Bitcoin and gold have the same volatility, Melton, are the best days of Bitcoin behind it?
I actually think that's not the case. One of the things I think is so interesting is when people analogize Bitcoin to gold, calling it digital gold. That's been a popular.
All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. If you are new to this channel, just know I do these live streams every single Sunday. We talk about different things every single Sunday, but if you ever have any questions, or know anybody who is new to this space, or if that is you, liking, subscribing absolutely isn't a bad idea, and we will, we try to keep it, this space is pretty crazy, if you're new to it and you're not used to it, so, I try to help navigate those, help me navigate those waters for you, right? But today, I want to talk about a question I hear a lot, and that is people asking me, is it too late to buy Bitcoin, right? So we're going to go over that. And there's a couple of things as well that I have been hearing a lot about. Power consumption, it's using too much power, and we're in a green, we need to help the environment and all that stuff, right? And there's another narrative about China being a threat to the United States economy, and Bitcoin as a weapon, and I can understand why they're saying that. However, their control over what they're freaking out about has been lowering every single year, so we're gonna kind of go over, all that sort of stuff, and then I'm gonna talk about some irresponsible price predictions, I guess, and where I believe. Now, this isn't. I don't really like streams that give price predictions because nobody knows what the heck they're talking about. I'm just, I mean, nobody on YouTube. It's not like even like Anthony Pompliano, even like Andreas Antonopoulos, even people that are like huge influences in the space. It's not like they control the markets and they know, but they see the bigger picture, and so I guess that's what I'm going to try to focus on, not like what's going to happen in the next year or so, but what the technology is and what the implications of what it's, what it's, being a part of, and what it's, I don't want to say taking over, but creating a new, better version of, right, when it comes to a lot of the markets that our economy is based off of. So we're going to kind of go over a bunch of stuff today. I'm going to try to keep it quick, but, that never happens. So we will see. And if you have any questions, pop them in the chat and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. But yeah, super appreciate all the subscribers who have subscribed already. Yeah. Oh, by the way, for those who want to know, everything I say today, take it as a guy who doesn't know what the heck he is doing, and entertainment purposes, whatever fine print needs to be said for you to understand, like, you need to make your own decisions, you do you. And plus, people always say, how much money should I put in this project? And that, even that one question alone, it's like, personally, I have an answer that might be completely different than yours. Everyone's in a different space, right? By the way, here on out, guys, my opinions, I'm always freaked out that people are gonna, I'm gonna say the wrong thing or something like that. So everyone just needs to understand, any YouTuber doesn't know what the heck they're talking about, right? They're all giving their personal opinions, right? Even if they say it or not, it just is what it is. By the way, there is no such thing as a cryptocurrency financial advisor. So when people say that on the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. Well, nobody's a cryptocurrency financial advisor, right? I don't know. Anyways. So this is just me playing around on the internet, having fun, right? But I do post all of my trades, even my losses, and this channel, like I said, this industry is so shady, and I'm just like done with it. I'm done with that in life. I'm done with people, I'm a salesman as well, and so that whole industry is just nonsense. It's just a bunch of a-holes just trying to manipulate. Ugh. And so, like, I'm just done with that. And luckily I work for a company where, I'm actually the trainer, so I don't gotta put up with that. And I believe, and the company I'm in, by the way, we're number one in a company that's number one And I think it's just because people, oh, what do you know? People don't like being lied to, right? So this channel as well, I'm trying to be as upfront. I'm on everything, aggressively so. Just so everyone knows exactly where I'm at. I'm not trying to underhand anything. I wanted to create this channel for a lot of different reasons, but one of them is I wanted to take the money that YouTube gave me, and a big chunk of, like, I eventually want to do this full time as well, so I want to make an income from this, and I don't really know what that looks like, but anyways, I post all my trades, and so if you go to my Twitter, just go to the very top, click on it. Some of my trades get lost. Apparently on Twitter, you can't post something and then comment. I try to make everything the same thread, but I have to enter the comments, which means if I post something, I can't make a comment on it after I post another trade. It doesn't make any sense what I'm saying, but I'm learning. I just learned something about Twitter as I was doing this. So they're all like work, and now they get disappeared after this one, right? And then you have to go into super and go into a comment, and then go into another comment to see my next two trades. But I post all my trades here, right? Even my bad ones, right? Let me go to my worst one. This is my worst one, right? I think it's like $300 right now. So I lost. Actually, it's like I don't want. Well, anyways, so I lost quite a bit. I think it was like 40% is what I ended up losing when I pulled out and put it in Ariana. Is that what I did? Anyways, I actually posted my trades, but I haven't posted my pull-up, my sells. I will. Again, I'm just trying to figure all this out myself, but yeah, look at this. This is $1,000 now. I don't know. It's like a little under $1. Kusama is like $500, right? So, Lux 15. So there's some good ones in here, but there's some bad ones, right? Wait, not Parsec, but like YFL. Actually, I think YFL is the only bad one. Anyways, so yeah, again, just want to be upfront with everything we do. I haven't even started on the stream yet. So let's start. So first talk about Bitcoin versus gold, and you know what? I'm just going to be very quick on this because it's funny in that I don't know if it said it in that video, but the girl on there is like, I don't like the comparison to digital gold. And I'm like, yes, me neither. I think it's a stupid comparison. It's only a comparison of the store of value, but that's where the comparison ends. Outside of that, and even outside of that, Bitcoin's a better store of value, right? So they just compare it to digital gold because in a financial crisis, gold's been what people go into to save, to make sure that their money is stored and won't lose its value. And now there's Bitcoin, so I think that's the biggest reason why. And it has a finite amount. It has little barely under 21 million coins. That's why they compare. Gold has a limited amount, but there you go. So there's a limited amount of gold. 10.9 trillion out of 2020. It's over $11 trillion right now, and we're gonna talk about this later on this chart because obviously we're a little more. Look at this. We're literally like 9 times more value right now than when this was made a year ago. Bitcoin is, anyways. But yeah. So gold, and by the way, gold. Okay, sorry. I have to it's hard to break down because some people have no idea. Some people still think the United States dollar is backed by gold, right? So, but it's not, right? But gold just has a limited resource, and I think that's about it, right? And it's always held a great store of value. So those two things, and that's why people say, oh, Bitcoin's like the internet, like internet of gold or whatever, right? But I think that's kind of where the comparison ends. Now, Bitcoin has a ton of actual value. It's the internet. And okay, people don't understand this, so let me just, hey, what's up? How's it going? Know your crypto. This has never happened in history before, ever, in humanity. So it's hard to understand what that value is, but people compare Bitcoin to the internet, and so let's go back to like 1980s, right? Before AOL, when companies were spending millions of dollars, consuming tons of energy, wasting a lot of manpower to send messages, when you can make phone calls, when you can do faxes, like, come on, there's television, like, what's going on here? Why do you need to like send a message on a screen, like, and then we're spending all this money, right? It just didn't make sense. And no one really saw the value of the internet until 1990s. Hey, how's it going, the pothead? So obviously we see the value of the internet now, right? And nobody's invested, by the way, in www and FTP and these protocols that made the internet what it is. By the way, I'm making a video about that. I was actually making a video about Ross Ulbright, and I was like, you know what? I need to talk about the dark web and the deep web and how internet started and what all that means before we can even talk about how, you know, Silk Road got created and ran. But anyways, internet, obviously we see the value in it, right? So crypto is what I see it as is internet plus just hit my elbow, plus the economy, right? So those two things put together has never been done before, right? Oh, well, we have a bank account, and that's on the internet, so digital currency, right? Sorry, I don't know why I do that stupid voice, because it's a common misconception. You're not stupid if you think that. But that's the common thing you hear. Like, well, China's doing a digital dollar, United States is going to do a digital dollar, so that's just like Bitcoin. They're just going to copy Bitcoin. No, that's completely inaccurate. And that's because, man, this is why I can't do an agenda. I've already bounced around through a couple of topics. It is what it is, guys. This is what you do for following me. Just kidding. Anyways, I need to rewind it. But Bitcoin and if you take the internet and you take the economy and put them together, so a lot of people say, oh, it's the money of the internet. And I like what Andreas Antonopoulos says, and he's like, no, it's not the money of the internet, it's the internet of money, which has never been done before. So you can incorporate the internet into finance and have it be open source, which, by the way, the digital dollar of China or the United States will never do. They will not, I promise you, I'm telling you. I mean, just think about this logically. If this makes any sense, why would the United States create a decentralized currency that they have zero control over and give it to the people when there's already Bitcoin? It's already doing that. So what would be the purpose of the United States doing that? The only purpose would be is if they are trying to get more control. So here's what the digital dollar is doing, you guys, and the China digital dollar. Oh, yeah, you're right, guys. Bitcoin, yeah, it's great. Yeah, we agree. Bitcoin's great, right? We're your government. We're going to listen to you. Bitcoin's fantastic, right? We're going to create a better one for the people, right? We already got the system. We already have everything integrated. Be easy, right? Just IRS, everything, boom, digitally done. It's going to take forever with Bitcoin. You don't want to do that, right? So we'll create the digital dollar. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. It's all good, right? That's the agenda they'll be pushing, right? I mean, they'll be way more convincing, right? But here's what that does. Now, like, you can't, and now everything is traced by now all of your expenditures and your money and everything you buy and purchase is now gathered, and the government knows all that information because now your money is through there. It's through them. You know, there's a conspiracy video that was done in the like 2000 or something like that. I can't remember what it's called now, but in that they played a video of one of the Rockefellers, and it was a phone call, and they were talking about they want to take everything, all credit cards and IDs and passports and everything, and digitize it all to the point where the government could just flip a switch and turn everything in your life on and off. And then all of a sudden, you know, you know, the last 20 years, we are creeping towards exactly what they were freaking out about, right? And now China is doing that exact thing. So now China's gonna make it where you have to use their currency. So now China will know exactly where every single dollar is spent, right? And money is private. I once literally had a bank call me for 45 minutes, and I was like really upset at the end, because I felt like it was the police like interrogating me, asking me like, all right, there's been all this terrorist activity and there's been funky stuff going on. We just need to make sure that you're not a part of it. And I'm like, what have I even done whatsoever? I'm sending money to China, and now you're telling me you're going to take my bank account away unless I tell you who I gave the money to and why. And they did that, by the way. And I was upset. So I just started being really cheeky, and then they kicked me out of the bank. Not like kicked me out physically, like they didn't drag me out, but I'm just saying they closed my account out and everything. All of a sudden, like I was like, oh, okay, cool. They're like, we'll send you a bank check in the mail in the next few weeks or whatever for your accounts. I'm like, all right, that's cool. So I went to my next bank and I was like, so cryptocurrency, what's your thoughts on it, right? What if I'm to buy stuff from China and sell it on Amazon? What's your thoughts on that? Do you care what I'm doing? Are you gonna call me and tell me how to spend my money? Anyway, this is kind of funny, off topic, but money's private, right? PIVX. Oh yeah, we can talk about that later. So yeah, the digital dollar for United States, digital dollar for China, don't worry about it. I mean, it's not gonna compete against Bitcoin. Now, another argument about China is that China has a majority of the mining pools, which means a majority of the Bitcoin money is going to China, and if they end up digitizing their dollar, you know, they're going to have control over that Bitcoin money even more. And if the entire world gets on Bitcoin and China has control, even through its people, of the majority of Bitcoin, they can end up weakening the dollar. So that's another argument that people are saying, and it's a valid argument. I mean, sorry, it's not there's an answer to it, but I mean, it's a worry that makes sense, right? And my thoughts on that is by the way, I've been thinking that for years. You look at the mining pools, Bitcoin mining pools. Most of them are in China. Dude, I'm getting a new computer, and I'm really excited about it. Oh wait, maybe I should go to this. Oh. This is a thing. What more? It's increasing. So there's been like this. I'm gonna go to it. But there's been efforts made in Canada, United States to get more Bitcoin mining in the United States. And what I think the United States should do is get on board and spend a lot of money. And there's a lot of excess power, by the way, at coal plants and whatnot that they're able to capture and mine Bitcoin, where it was just getting wasted before. So we're able to capture a lot more Bitcoin energy and power than before. And so I think if the United States doesn't do anything or starts banning Bitcoin stuff, which I don't think they're going to do, so many companies are involved now, it's going to hurt the United States. Bitcoin is the future, I believe, when it comes to decentralized finance and worldwide decentralized finance. Never been done before, right? So, but yeah, so we'll see what that ends up happening. And then the last thing I guess I'm going to say when it comes to the worries of that is power consumption, right? China cheap power we don't hear, and now there's more and more Bitcoin being consumed, more power being consumed. Well, the more power means the stronger the network, and Bitcoin is becoming so expensive to mine that it is cheaper to spend money on solar farms, to build an entire solar farm for the sole purpose of mining Bitcoin, to build at waterfalls and wind, places where there's high winds, build these type of energy efficient ways to capture Bitcoin that's better for the environment, right? That will be a cheaper way to mine Bitcoin than it would be to spend money on coal and power. Because if you're getting, like, in the United States, you're getting 6-7 cents, per kilowatt in power, but you could spend, $1 million and then cut that cost by 80%, and now you're getting that much more Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin is increasing by minimum 100 to 200% a year. It's like, it's a no-brainer, and people, that's why there's and so a lot of people are complaining about it, but well, Bitcoin could actually lead in getting a lot of these companies that do solar and wind to use a lot of that excess energy to start mining Bitcoin and start expanding their wind farms and solar farms. And you're actually seeing a lot of that. And I'm actually going to be making a video specifically on that, because I've learned a lot of really cool stuff. But yeah. And by the way, that the power that coal uses, I mean, just think about this. The power that's being used right now for our current financial infrastructure is wasted. There is a leak in it. And there's also, if you look at, like, I think it's the second thermal law of dynamics, it shows that our current economy, like, wouldn't work in, like, you have a system that allows with inflation, and the inflation could fluctuate as much as people want. It's like humans can insert and change, which means it's not a if you look up Michael Saylor, Google Michael Saylor thermal laws of dynamics Bitcoin, type that in and watch a video or two. He's going to explain it a lot better. But it's interesting when he explains. It's like, yeah, it's always a problem when people are involved, and now there's a system put in place where people won't get involved, or people can get involved, obviously, and they can change things, but it's the masses. It's not like one or two people who are in charge, right? And so, at any rate, really interesting. But yeah, so let me talk about now, is it too late to get into Bitcoin, right? So my short answer is no. I don't care if Bitcoin drops to 30K. I don't care if it drops down to 6K. If it dropped down to 6K, I would be what's going on in the world that would make that happen? Maybe our entire economy crashes, destroyed, and then we drop down to 6, right? But I don't know, if it did that, I'd be like, more money, more money. But yeah, here's the deal. How high can Bitcoin go? Here's my answer to that. Okay. The internet was valued at about $26 trillion, like in 2015 or something like that. Gold is currently valued at, well, here's my answer to that. How high can Bitcoin go? What's my prediction of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? So, this was, I've shown a different chart, but this one's newer. This one's a little over a year old. It's funny, Bitcoin's changed quite a bit. I showed, I think it was like 2016, 17 maybe. There's also one in 2015 that shows Bitcoin at 5 billion. Oh my gosh, that chart is interesting to look at. But we're gonna, this is the most recent one that this, maybe it's the same company, exactly the same, so I think it is. But at this time, crypto is worth 244 billion. Sorry, it's worth 10 times that much right now. I'll just let you know, like, it's worth like around 2 trillion, so almost 10 times as much. But typical outcome for the United States companies, like, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I know you're crypto, thank you for saying that. That's what I really wanted to say. I wanted to bring that up, but I forgot. I think Tesla is gonna do something really special. First of all, what happened in Texas, which, if you guys don't know, that, you know, Texas just went through a huge power outage, and people's pipes were busting, and, you know, obviously Texas is not used to that type of snow. And then a lot of there's like there's like governors that were like, you all deserve this, and they like resigned. And one of the, anyways, Ted Cruz went to Cancun or something, and it was just like a big mess down there. But Elon Musk lived down there, and that's why I found it interesting, because it's like, okay, in case you guys don't know as well, Texas like is its own like kind of country. Not really, obviously, it's part of the United States. But what I mean is, and if you've been in Texas, you'll know. If you've lived there, you know better than me. My mother lived there for like 8, 9, 10 years, something like that. And it's just a different mentality, different vibe down there. And there's different rules down there as well. They don't share like databases for certain things. Taxes are done much differently down there. But anyways, the power down there, it's done by a company that's completely off the United States grid. So the main power down there is this big company, and they're the ones who broke down, And so, at any rate, Elon Musk sent a tweet out, and he's like really disappointed, or I don't know what he said, I can't remember, but I think he is going to. I'm sure he is already. If I Google it, I'm sure I'll find it. But he's going to spend tons of money on building a solar farm, I'm sure, and I'm sure he'll want to replace the power grid down there and make Texas all solar, right? No, not that it. By the way, if you guys don't know, another thing about Texas, they're all about oil as well. So they're obviously not going to go all solar. But it will happen eventually. These oil reserves will eventually. There's countries that are going completely off oil. Like, the whole world is transitioning that way, but it's going to take years, right? I think Elon Musk said it took over about 30 years for the transition from horses to cars, right? And he's expecting the same 30-year transition from gas to electric, right? And that was in 2009, right? So we're a third of the way there. But anyways, I think Elon Musk is going to be doing something with all the solar farms, and he owns Solar City as well, in case you guys don't know. And he's going to do some mining Bitcoin with the extra power. I don't know. He's going to do something funky. And a lot of people think he's involved with a company called Energy Web Token, which I actually myself. And they will be able to take all their energy grid, essentially, if this collaboration is true. And there's also another one Steve Wozniak does, but I don't think there's any connection. There might be. I haven't looked for quite a few months, actually. But it's interesting. Steve Wozniak is in a power company as well. But at any rate, this token would be able to say, okay, let me take your entire power grid, and we know exactly where all the energy is going, and now we can flow all that energy exactly where we want it to, and use that extra energy to make money, right? Which is funny because gold and mining. So also, by the way, in comparison of gold is, you have to dig it out of the earth. It takes a long time to mine the Bitcoin, the gold, and then they have to manufacture it. It's like a process, and it's expensive. Well, so is mining Bitcoin. It's the same thing, right? But digitally. So yeah. And by the way, all the energy that's consumed with the economy, like I said before, there's like a leak in it where it's not with Bitcoin. 100% of all the energy that's used towards Bitcoin is saved for the future economy. It's not wasted, right? There's an inflation on Bitcoin right now, but the inflation slower and slower goes away, and there's that 21 million cap. So anyways, back to this. Overall decentralized Bitcoin, making the US accidentally. I have more mining power through private companies. LM8, love to watch. Could you check out 1inch and do some TA over the whack on FIB? I like 1inch. I'm not gonna do that in this stream, maybe at the end, but I like 1inch and Uniswap. I don't really care for PancakeSwap just because I don't like exchange. I don't like these centralized exchange, decentralized. I understand they're probably gonna pump or whatever, but like morally, it's rough for me. And yeah, Cal, I think 1 inch is going to pump big time. I think Uniswap will as well, right? I think a lot of these decentralized exchange coins will. But anyways, so yeah, Bitcoin currently is worth $2 trillion, right? We got the U.S. Deficit at 3.8. We have coins and banknotes at 6.6. The Fed balance sheet at 7 trillion. Elon Musk obviously is like number one, number two. He keeps flopping, right? But it was 8 trillion last year. It's more than that now, right? Now we have gold. 10.9, and this is more accurate because it showed gold, I think, at 8 on the last one that the last chart most people share. But this is what people are comparing it to. Now, just to let you know, Bitcoin is currently worth 1 trillion. So even if it hits gold's value, you're looking at a 11x. So just know. And so people get stuck on this. Here's what people get stuck on. If you're new to crypto, just understand this means nothing in crypto. All right, here's what it means absolutely nothing. Wait, here. Let me show you. Let me show you real on the live. Dink and Flicka. Fleece it out. Going live. Oh my gosh. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Here's what doesn't. This right here. This price means nothing. People look at stock and they're like, dude, I can't afford $59,000. What am I gonna do? Like, sell all my assets to get one? You know, I understand some people are older and, you know, own more assets and all that sort of stuff, but that's a lot of money because people don't understand that you can just buy a portion. Now, here's also what people freak out about. It's $59,000. What? I don't know anything that's $59,000. Amazon stock is $2,000, you guys, and this is $59,000. Oh my gosh! Like, really? You think it's gonna go to $100,000 when Amazon's at $2,000? That doesn't make any sense. Like, it's a scam, obviously. You know. Well, wait, look at XRP. This is $1. Dude, if XRP went to 59,000, oh my gosh, let's put all our money in XRP. Let's look at this. Let's see. 59,658 divided by 1.39. Oh my gosh, it's the 42,000x. So really, all I gotta do, it's 43,000. Wow, I gotta take $1 million and divide it by 43,000. I'm just joking, you guys. What am I doing? 1 million is what people do, by the way, divided by 43,000. That means I just gotta put $23 into XRP, and if it hits the same price as Bitcoin, I'm a millionaire. Done. Just kidding. That's the math a lot of people do. It's completely opposite math that you need to do, by the way, because the price, like I said, means absolutely nothing. This is what means something right here. The market cap. Because like I said, I can buy $1 of this, or I can buy $1 of this, or 50 cents of this, 50 cents of that, 3 pennies of this, 5/10 of a penny of that. I don't know how low you can go. But how are you getting to 120 cal? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Anyways, this is what you need to look at, is the market cap. So how high can the market cap go? Well, we saw gold was 11 trillion, right? So that's actually a 10x from Bitcoin's current price. So all you really need to know is whatever money you put in, right? You put in $400. Well, if it just matched gold, you'd be at 4,400, right? You know, you put in $8,000 times 10. Cool. Now you're at 80. So that's the math that needs to get done, is how high do you think the market cap could go? If you think it's the market cap of gold, then you're at a 10x of whatever amount of money you put in, right? Now, obviously gold and Bitcoin are not the same thing, because gold is a physical item, Bitcoin is digital, so that means it's way more versatile, and it has the economy attached to it, has finance attached to it. So now you can take two huge, massive worlds, put them together. So just gold would be a 10x. Well, let's go back to our little chart here. Disguised as another dude. I feel like many people are missing out on so many opportunities because they don't understand market cap. $300 €300 a coin, and people assume that they're missed the boat without now analyzing tokenomics. Yeah, dude, tokenomics is a whole nother video as well. Yeah, well, let's talk about tokenomics after this, though. I'll kind of briefly go through it. But okay, gold. So 10 trillion. Now Fortune 500, obviously, we got lots of companies over that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm like 1,000 billion. Okay, 1.3 trillion. So we have a bunch of companies over that $1 trillion mark. We have about $89 trillion all in the stock market. World's money supply about $95 trillion, right? So again, we're taking the economy, and so Bitcoin is not just gold, because gold is a store of value. So Bitcoin has that 21 million as a store of value, but it can be used as transactions. And by the way, Bitcoin will be able to do hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of transactions per second. I have no doubt. So it will be able to be used as a buy a cup of coffee. It'd be crazy fast and crazy cheap. We're not there yet. Slow your roll. Bitcoin has been in existence in like 11 years. People who freak out about that, it's like, dude, the internet was conceived in like the 40s. Wasn't until like late 60s testing was done. Wasn't until the late 80s it was actually deployed. Wasn't until the 90s AOL came along. Wasn't until the 90s .com happened 10 years later. So we're 11 years into it. Did I miss the boat? Did I miss the boat? We're 11 years into it. Well, like getting into Bitcoin in like the 60s or 70s, internet in like the 60s and 70s. I actually do think it's like getting in the internet before AOL. Until Bitcoin can do mass adoption stuff, or Ethereum can start doing massive transactions per second and onboarding the average user. Until people are using cryptocurrency without even knowing they're using cryptocurrency. Whoa, I can get 12% of my dollar? This app is cool. And they start putting their money into it, and like, yeah, I don't know if you know this, but you're using a stablecoin, right? Anyways, so 95 trillion. Global debt, like this freaking matters. 253 trillion. Real estate, 280 trillion. Global wealth, 160 trillion. Derivatives, this is where it gets crazy, right? 11 trillion for market value. National values, 558 trillion. It might even be over $1 quadrillion, right? Derivatives are like so weird. This is what's stupid, you guys. Let me tell you guys what derivatives are. Derivatives, 550, $1 quadrillion. Everything else in the world is worth under that. And all derivatives are saying, I believe this thing will be a certain price at this certain time. So you're gambling. So the gambling market is bigger than the entire world market. That's just ridiculous. So how high could Bitcoin go? Well, our derivative market is over $1 quadrillion. We're pumping in trillions of dollars every single year in the economy now, like it's nothing. And I've said this many times in my stream, but just think about this. This is how much we're pumping money, inflating our currency. First 200 years, 1776, 1976, we inflated our currency a little under $400 billion. 1976 to now, we're a little under $30 trillion in debt, right? So we're, in the last 50 years, we're like 50 times more what we were the previous 200 years, right? So we're just, the more money we print, the higher the potential price of Bitcoin could go, right? So now I think eventually it will be a multi-million-dollar asset, the coin itself. I do think for sure it's going to be there. I don't know when. I don't know when any of this stuff is going to happen, right? I think you'd be great price it is now. By the way, what if it goes from 60,000? Okay, now let's talk about this. I want to talk about the spikes and the crashes, right? So this chart starts back in July of 2010 when Bitcoin, and in the early days when it was a few pennies, right? And just understand, all right, who cares about the price of it? You need to look at the percentage drop, because if you throw $10,000 into it at 8 cents and it goes up to 38 cents, right? That's a 6x, 6 or 7x, or wait, that's a 6.6x increase, right? So cool, you just made 66 grand. And then it crashes down to 18 cents, right? And so you lose 30 grand within like a month, right? It's a new asset, who knows, internet money, whatever. And so this, there's like a rainbow chart that people share a lot with Bitcoin. But then all of a sudden, December of 2010, all the way up to February, so it just took 3 months, and it went up 500%. And so just think about that. A few months went up 500%. This like nerd money that nobody's ever heard about, right? And then over the course of February, March, April, a couple of months, it dropped 37%, right? And then this is the first big increase it had. So now put yourself in your shoes, right? Or just back in the day when no one's heard this internet money, right? That's 68 cents. It broke $1 once, and all of a sudden it shot up from 68 cents to $30. Right? That's a 37.9 increase in 2 months. So, and by the way, those of you who trade and who's been trading crypto for a while, like I don't you have like 10-15% fluctuations daily often, and it's like, whatever, it'll go back up. Oh, anyways, let's say you put $500 in, right? And then all of a sudden it goes up, times 37, and now you made close to 20 grand with that 500 off of, this random internet nerd money. Happened over a couple of months, and then all of a sudden, over the course of a year and a half, half a year, 180 days, half a year, so a little under half a year, you see that money, that $20,000, you lose 17 grand of it, right? Oh my gosh, I'm doing this math stupid. So you have now $2,700 from your $20,000, right? Over the course of a year and a half. Well, obviously people would freak out and be like, well, it was one of those things, fad, and it got published in a magazine, and oh wait, is that what happened? Wait, 2011, is that what happened? No, 2014. Okay. Oh no, this is when they finally went to the NSA, and Satoshi walked away from the project. So this is around when Satoshi, wait, no. This is around, I think around here is when Satoshi officially walked away from the project. I could be wrong about that. But anyways, so yeah, and then all of a sudden, goes sideways for a long time. This is very familiar, right? $2 to $13. It's like 2,000 to 13,000. Kind of look at it that way. But this is November 2011, and it finally spiked big time January 2013. So a little over a year before it did a bull run, right? Another bull run. And then from its all-time high to passing its all-time high, it's 623 days, right? So around 2 years. That's crazy. And now again, put yourself in the situation. $30 to $229, right? I don't know, maybe put some time in here. But from its low to its high, it's a 11,000% increase. So now let's take the same, let's say you had 20,000 and you lost that 90 some odd percent, and now you're at 2,795. 2,795, right? Well, what if you kept holding on to that money? And people are like, well, you're the idiot who invested in some stupid nerd money that no one's ever heard of, that, you know. And by the way, you're buying this Bitcoin on an exchange called Magic the Gathering Online Exchange. It used to be for selling nerd cards. So now you're mad that they took $20,000. And, you know, if you guys don't know Bitcoin's history, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But those of you who do, you know, Magic the Gathering, Mt. Gox was a nerd card, and that's what was a Bitcoin exchange. Anyways, I don't want to get into that right now, but yeah. So, you know, you're probably getting made fun of. Everyone's calling you stupid. Why are you holding on to this, dude? It keeps going down. Well, then it goes up times 110. Oh my goodness! Now you have $307,000, right? I bet your friends aren't making fun of you now. Holy crap, dude, you better sell that freaking thing now, though, right? You put in $500, dude. Wait, was I said? Yeah. You put in $500 and you have $307,000. I would sell that immediately and get a house, right? I mean, what are the chances that it's gonna go up more? Boom! Oh my goodness, dude, $63. You just lost 70% of your money. You're an idiot. Times 0.70, you idiot. So, dang it, why do I keep doing this? 307,450. There you go, you have $92,000. 92,235, whatever. So now you had $300,000, now you have 92 over the course of a few days because you're an idiot and you didn't take out your money, right? And by the way, these numbers are a little off because obviously I'm not doing the exact lows and exact highs on everything. So now it dropped to 67 was its all-time low. And it kind of floated around, but you pretty much lost half your money immediately. And you didn't see that back until 2013, October, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's like 6 months. You're kind of floating around. 6 months doesn't seem that long, but it's a long time, you guys. Bitcoin pumped big time, and it started pumping. I feel like it's about 6 months ago, and since it's broken its all-time high, it's been a wild ride. It seems like a lot of crazy stuff has happened, and it seems like most of the time we've been in a downturn instead of an upturn, right? Hasn't it felt that way? We pump up, and it's like forever down. And it's like boom, and then it's like forever down, right? So how the whales make their money. But now it pumps back up, right? Boom, now it's $1,000. So, you know, I don't know if you want to, now we're going to take this and times it by 162, and now you have $14 million, right? Now your friends are like, no, you're a millionaire. Now you'd be really stupid, by the way, if you didn't take out your money. You're officially a millionaire. Dude, at least take out like 10 million of it, right? And it would make sense. 100%. When you broke 6 figures, it would make sense to take your money out. And when you broke $1 million, it would make sense to take your money out. Like, for sure. Especially after these crashes. And no one's even really heard of Bitcoin yet. Still, even after $1,000. It's like just hitting the news really for the first time. I saw a thing with Kevin O'Leary, and he was talking about Bitcoin when it was like $60. And he's like, I'm going to buy some. Well, obviously you didn't. Otherwise you'd be bragging about it now. Or didn't buy enough of it, right? Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy some. He's like, yeah, throw like $20 in it. He's like, yeah, $20, made like $1 million. Anyways, whatever, I'm just joking. So, yeah, 2013, and then it crashed. This took over a year, a long time. So for over a year, it was crashing, and then it went sideways for a long time. Luxo's popping, is it? Oh, I'll check it out. So this is actually the year I learned about Bitcoin during this cycle right here. Through a, I mean, I knew what it was before, but I misunderstood what it was all. Actually, let's see, when was it 60? When it broke that like $100 and it went down to like $60 or whatever, that's when I first heard about it. But it was around 2016 that Andreas Antonopoulos, I saw a video and I was like, whoa, that's what Bitcoin is, no way. I learned what it actually did and I got super excited and obsessed. But anyways, this is a long time, you guys. Over 1,000 days, right? So it peaked was at November of 2013, and it wasn't until March of 2017. So 13, oh my goodness, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's like four years around, right? And it was going up, but you know, over a couple of years, it's like $200 up to 1,000. So over like 4 years, it's like, okay, every year it went up 100%. Like, it's not like it's doing these spikes, you know? So a lot of people thought it was dead during this time. And then all of a sudden, you know, Fabian Augustel created their C20 token and people were able to create their companies on Ethereum and it made a big crypto spike, right? So yeah, what's that? An increase of hold on, my chart is freaking out. And when it's at 19,000, this is one we've all heard of, right? And we've been the downturn that we've been in, and we've recently passed our high. So this is oh, and here's the, I guess I wrote it all out. But yeah, we're on the 7th bull run. This is what we've been through and kind of the cycles, right? So a lot of people compare this to the 90s.com. And that's understandable. And it's I'd say, yeah, I agree. In the sense that there's like 99% of the companies are bullcrap. And they're going to fail, and everyone's going to lose their money who's invested in it. Or most of the people are going to lose their money, right? Except for the people that are whales or have a ton of money and control the markets and whatever, right? But the average person will lose their money. I agree with that. But I don't think I think, you know, did the 90s.com internet? No. Amazon's still around. So is eBay, right? So is a lot of these companies that, you know, stuck around. But there were a lot of companies that were overvalued. So in that aspect, they're accurate, right? But what happens? Let me guys just put a perspective in your head. What happens if we go from, right now it's at 60,000, right? We're at 60K. What happens if we go from 60K to $300,000, right? That's, or 400,000, right? And that's a significant increase. That's still under the market cap of gold, by the way. But that would be let's say until November, we maybe hit $100,000 in November, right? And at the end of November, and then at the end of November to the beginning of January, we go from $100,000 to $440,000. So within a month, we added trillions of dollars to Bitcoin, right? And then all of a sudden people started dumping that money into alts like they did in 2017, right? Or a lot of it into alts, and then alts started pumping up like crazy, going 20, 40, 50x in a week or so. And then all of a sudden the entire market starts dumping, and it lasts for 4 or 5 years. And then that $400,000 coin over the course of 4 or 5 years drops down to $38,000. Let's say, I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there. What's going on in your mindset? It's 5 years down the road. The coin that you bought, because you FOMO'd in at $380,000, you put $10,000 in at $380,000. and then it's gone from 300,000 down to 38. So now your 10,000 is down to like $1,200 or something, right? I don't know. What are you going to do during that time? I don't know if we're going to see another 90% downturn. But you know, what are you going to do during that time? Are you going to panic sell and freak out? And if you are, then I'd say you don't either believe or care about when you're only doing it for the money, and that's not wrong. That's okay. People do that all the time, but mentally it's going to be rough. I would assume if you're investing in things you don't believe in or care about. It's like a complete gamble, I feel like. But it could happen, right? And then 5-6 years, it could now go from that 38,000 or 60,000 or whatever it drops down to, right? And then it slowly goes from 60,000 to 300,000 over the course of 2 years. And then it goes from 300,000 up to a million, 1,000,005, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, right? Now it's, I don't know, 2026, 2030 or something like that. And we're in the next bull market, and, you know, I don't know. And that could be a potential of what could end up happening. And I don't know what's going to happen. But here's what I believe personally. I believe Bitcoin's a technology. It's a game-changing technology, right? There was like a depression and an anxiety, a stress I had in life of something was broken, it could never be fixed in a certain aspect, and Bitcoin fixes that problem. Well, like, you know, in 2008, it was like hard for me to like, what? The little man really is like screwed over and nobody cares, right? I learned a lot in a couple of years about how our government works and stuff, but Bitcoin fixes just a lot of broken aspects of. By the way, I don't think Bitcoin should replace the government or it's going to kill the economy or any of that nonsense. I think it's just going to add a layer of trust, and a lot of people are going to want to build on that layer of trust. And I think a lot of economies are not going to want to be backed by the United States dollar anymore, and Bitcoin provides a great opportunity to be on a fair world economy. And so I think there will be a lot of countries where their country's economy will be Bitcoin, right? But Bitcoin needs to increase its technology. We're not quite there yet. If Bitcoin could do 1 million transactions per second tomorrow, it'd be a whole different story of every number I'm saying. We'd be in the millions of dollars immediately, I believe, if that was the case. But it's going to be a while before that happens, years. So I do think we're early adopters still, right? I think you're investing in AOL before they've even launched. When people are like, I don't even know what the internet is. Cool, I can like put a page with a picture of my face and then like a little bio about me. But nobody knows how to get to it. No one will ever see it. But I can like put it on a business card and people can check it out. And then there's email. Like, whatever, it doesn't make sense. Right? And then all of a sudden all these applications and websites and companies start building off the internet, and now we see the internet for what it is. And I think the same thing's going to happen towards Bitcoin. Now, also, a lot of people say we've hit the AOL days, and I don't think that's true. Even the person I respect big time, Andreas Antonopoulos, thinks that. But how could he? I just don't understand how he could think that. I think, okay. And by the way, I think Fabian Vogelsteller fixed this. He said Luxo was pumping. Let me see what you mean. Vogelsteller is creating a universal profile, and I believe that universal profile, nice. I believe that universal profile is going to create an opportunity for companies to build on the blockchain without people knowing that they're using the blockchain. However, that person's identity, everything, the decentralized nature of blockchain, all that stuff still stays intact. And I think what Luxo is creating with the ERC 735, the ERC 1155, and the combined with the ERC 20, am I saying these right? I think he's going to be creating a really cool standard on that will help people adopt blockchain and crypto. Now, I think Bitcoin's king, but I think Ethereum is also doing a lot of really cool stuff too. So I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, but I also think that Bitcoin can do every single thing Ethereum can do. There's nothing stopping it. They're just focused on a different thing right now, right? But in 10 years, Bitcoin can be like, all right, we can do 1 million transactions per second, so we don't care what you're doing, Ethereum. Everyone can build off of us now. And we're the dominant network of the world, and we have a better, so I think, but Bitcoin just has a different focus, right? Dang, dude, I legit, a bunch of Cardano expire yesterday in a contract that I had, and I was going to move a ton of it into Luxo at $13. Whatever Luxo. Just kidding. That's okay. So yeah. So I don't really have a price prediction in recent term. It's hard to even say any of that sort of stuff. But I think I find I think for the most part, I find great companies that actually build working projects that are actually making real changes, and doing research is rough, for sure. But now I haven't officially announced this yet, but I'll just announce it right now, and I'll post officially, I guess. But I'm actually doing an interview with Fabian. And there hasn't been a time set up yet, but I've been in communication. Fabian said, let's do it. And I'm working with somebody right now. I don't know what the right thing to do is to officially announce it once we officially have a time slot, or whatever. But it's in the works right now. And I think pretty sure it's going to go through. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask him, I'll be posting the same thing in Reddit and stuff. And I think once I get the official time slot, I'm gonna send an announcement out to everything. But yeah, very excited about Luxo. Ariana, by the way, is another company that I'm about to do a video on and talk to their CEO. It's a company that works with Luxo. The Fabian's actually works with a lot of their code and helps them out with their projects. So there'll be 2 videos about Luxo and Ariana coming out here pretty soon. And I also have that dark web video in the works. It's been in the works for a while. I actually waited on it because there's a movie coming out about it, but the movie sucked and it's all lies. So I'm like, oh, never mind. I thought it was gonna be like a real real documentary or something. So yeah. Now, I guess I may just end this with the question I have on there of, how much money do I need to invest to make $1 million? Dude, that question is so hard to answer, because it all depends on your risk. Okay, this is all not financial advice, like I've been saying a bunch of times, some idiot talking on YouTube, but payment purposes, right, all that jazz. But I get asked that all the time, and I don't really know how to answer that question, because I'm like, can I have you sign something and print on it, right? Okay, let's say you're 50 years old, you have a family of 5, you only have like an extra $1,000 a month of income, and you're living paycheck by paycheck. That's a different story than being 20 years old working for a software company. You make over 6 figures, and about 60% of that easily is disposable and it's just sitting in a bank account every single month. Well, okay, and then who are you as a person, right? Are you ready to, do you care to risk it all, lose it all, and then be okay with that? Start completely over? Do you want to just put a little bit in? So all these questions are dependent on you. And then you just have to ask yourself as well, what do I see this company doing in terms of how much do I see them growing, right? It's like Cardano's a $40 million market cap. Well, Cardano says it's going to be a better Ethereum. Do you believe that? Well, if you do, this is a $246 billion market cap. So what's that? 4, 8, 16, 7x. So if Cardano just got as big as Ethereum is right now, then you could 7x your money. Doesn't matter what this price is, right? Because all the price means is how many shares you're gonna get. Right? You have $1,000. You're gonna put $1,000 and divide that by $1.27. You're gonna end up getting 787 shares or whatever of Cardano. That's the wrong word, but you understand. So cool. Now it'll go 7x. So times 7. have 5,500 shares. But the shares don't really matter, like I said. It just means the market cap. So you put in $1,000 and it 7x's, then you'll 7x your 1,000, and you'll make 7,000, obviously, right? What about Polkadot? Polkadot says the same thing. Well, oh cool, Polkadot's over 40, good for it. I had a buddy that's like, dude, Polkadot's never going over 40. I'm like, thank goodness you said that, dude. I'm like, I just needed somebody to say that for it now to go over 40, because I have a buddy every time. I'm like, hey, every time that you buy a project, can you just tell me about it so I can sell my coins? Because it just always dips. We joke about it because obviously it happens to everyone, right? It just happened to me with Ariana. It's all good though. So yeah, bank is bound to be the biggest oracle, right? All information flowing from outside of crypto in is going to go through Chainlink for the most part. How big is that, right? So you just got to ask yourself, I guess, these questions. And that's why, by the way, I like... Be very careful with what I'm saying again. This is just me wishing, wanting, hoping. I've done a lot of research, and I've decided this is the project I like a lot. And I guess here is why. Well, I'm not gonna say why, Luxo. You guys, I have made a video about it. I have a video I made about it a while ago. You can go down to project reviews on my channel. I also did a live stream going kind of deep dive and talked about the recent stuff of Luxo. And again, I'll be doing that interview here in the next week or 2 or 3. I'm not sure when. With Fabian, but look at this market cap, $249 million market cap. This is the market cap this current company has, and they are the ones that are creating that universal profile that most companies are going to be able to use, and they're building a blockchain for NFTs, and they're specifically going on after like luxury items and art and music and that sort of stuff. The creative aspect of people, right? And right now it's LYXE because it's on the Ethereum blockchain. They're going to create their own blockchain soon, and it'll be called LYX. And then you can convert your tokens to LYX or keep it on the Ethereum LYXE. It'll be just pegged to it, but not like any of that matters. But this is what I believe, right? This is what matters to me, anyways. Is this the market cap? Now, if you get case you guys know, remember the market cap for. Let me go back actually. Fabian created the ERC20 token, right? He's a great coder. He's creating NFT standards. He knows what he's doing, right? The bull run was pretty much responsible. He was the one responsible for the 2017 bull run, right? So he was one of the great coders of Ethereum. Well, a lot of people broke off and made their own companies. Vitalik's with Ethereum. Charles Hoskins went with Cardano. He created Cardano. Gavin Wood, who's also a talented coder, left and went with Polkadot. And Fabian broke off and made Luxo. Well, the lowest market cap is a little over 40 billion. So let's just say Luxo goes to the current market cap of Polkadot. Now, I'm saying that, let's say Bitcoin goes up to 11 trillion. This goes up 11x. This also goes up by 11x from its current price, right? Or more, or whatever, right? Who knows? But let's just say the current price. Well, Luxo is 249. We have 40. $40 billion divided by 249880858. So this company would 160x to get to be as big as Cardano, right? Now this is where the greed aspect and the be careful, put your lens on, don't listen to me. And this is not financial advice. This is just some idiot on YouTube talking type of conversations to take place, right? Yeah. Like I said, I'm making our Ariana tokenomics. Yeah, we'll talk about that on another video. But so yeah, you put in you know, $1,000 into Ariana, and it does get to, I'm not saying it will, I'm saying if it gets to that 40x, sorry, that $40 billion, that's 160x. So how much do you believe, and that's the question, how much do you need to invest to make $1 million? How much do you believe this will get to that 160x, right? If you believe it will go to 160x, then all we do is take that $1 million and divide it by 160. It means you need to invest $6,250 if you actually believe that's going to happen. Do you believe it or not? Right. It doesn't matter what the token price is. The token, like, all that stuff doesn't make sense. And it doesn't matter. It's like I said, it's just a market cap. So all this would mean is this $6,000 would translate into divided by 1675. It would just mean you would have 373 shares of Luxo. But you don't really need that math. You just need the math of the market cap to know how much money you need to invest to get to, you know, all that jazz. So, yeah, Luxo is a big part of my portfolio too. What's up, Dario? Jeff. So, yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on the market. Oh man, dude, an hour and 16 minutes. I busted it. I know I can't do it under an hour. I never could. But I guess before I leave, let me show you guys this channel, Skystruck Live. Skystruck Live. I want get to 100 subscribers to this channel right here, Skystruck Live, because here's the deal. When the bull market goes crazy, I just know that people are going to want to ask me tons of questions, and I'm just going to tell people, like, hey, I'm just going to go live stream every single night at this time for the next week or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, and just answer questions or whatever. But I don't want to flood this current channel with just live streams all the time. So this channel, once I hit 100 subs, then I can do it on my tablet, I can do it on my laptop, I guess I can do it on my laptop, whatever, but I can do it on my phone as I'm just driving, as I'm just like out and about, right? And I can have a quick conversation with people like on a lunch break where I wouldn't be able to go home and get everything set up as much as I would. But you need 100 subs for it. So if you want to subscribe to that, then eventually I'll be doing a lot more live streams. And also things like, I think people would be interested in how I research a project, you know, because a lot of people don't know how to do tokenomics, don't know how to like read a white paper and see like how the tokens were distributed and what the project is actually doing and how they're going to do it, who the advisors are, who's running the company, what their roadmap looks like. There's a lot of real important, you know, how decentralized, like there's a lot of real important things that you should need to know about companies. I feel like you should anyways. And it'd be nice just to, I'm just going to go live a lot more on that, just do a lot more dumb stuff, and that way while I'm like researching a company or reading a white paper, I've been reading the Ariana white paper, I'm like 90% done, but it takes a while, right? And especially a lot of some white papers are, you know, over 100 pages long, so it takes a minute to read these things. But yeah, one last question. Do you think KuCoin token? That's interesting. I never thought about. I never really put much consider into that. So KuCoin. Okay, so the question that in case anyone else is on. Oh look, there's a few people on. KuCoin token is not a high market cap token. However, Binance token is pumped big time. And KuCoin, I think, is like one of my favorite exchanges, not in the United States. I don't really like Binance, but you know, I mean, Coinbase, Crypto.com, like they're in the United States, they have to be regulated certain ways, but it's hard to like just go to a random exchange in like China or South Korea. But I do really like KuCoin. I think they're the best, especially because when that hack happened, I had some money in, and I had some money in the tokens that were hacked, and I had that money back within 24 hours. Within the 24 hours. So, and they got hacked like $250 million or something crazy, right? So they passed the test, I guess, for me, for an exchange that don't want to trust really any exchange. The whole purpose of crypto is so you keep your money, so there's not a single way people could hack you, right, and take your funds. They have to know your password. That's the only way, right? But if it was on exchange, it would be a different story. They just have to hack the exchange. But yeah, so if you want to subscribe to that, that's awesome. And I don't know about KuCoin. I'd have to look into that really and see how many of the KuCoin IEOs or whatever you want to call them that they're doing. But that could be a good opportunity. Again, I'd have to do more research. But if it got anywhere near the popularity as Binance, then it would be a really good opportunity. And obviously, oh man, I wonder if Uniswap is going to do something like that as well. It'd be interesting if decentralized exchange would end up doing some sort of something. Dude, I just met someone, not met, but I just found out someone I kind of know gets in on these like pre-sells, and it's like disgusting. the number, how much more X's he gets, the percentage increase he gets before I even hear about the token, right? It's like, I get in and I'm like, yeah, 100x. He's like, yeah, I already did it, man. Like, screw you. Just kidding. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, I guess that's it. I appreciate you guys. You only need to own 6 KuCoin tokens for KuCoin to start paying you to hold it. I'll look into that. I'm gonna check that out this week, and maybe I'll talk about it on the next week's stream. But yeah, if they end up doing some sort of thing like that. So I hold the minimum of Binance tokens because of that, but I don't even use their... They have a couple really good ones. But Binance does a lottery, so it's like, great, you have all these tokens, but really, you just get a lottery ticket, and you may never even be able to participate in these companies, right? So I held lottery ticket through 5 of them, and I never won. So it's like, okay, so I need to get like 5 or 6 lottery tickets, which means I need to invest thousands and thousands of dollars into Binance, just so I can invest a couple of thousands of dollars into this company that's going to do a 10x. Like, that doesn't make sense. And then Binance tokens pumping, so I guess that does make sense, but it's a centralized thing to do, and that's why I don't like it. But whatever. I have a hard time. I need to get over myself and play the game, and just play the game sometimes on some of these things. But well, it's hard for me. So yeah, that's it. I appreciate you guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you could ask Fabian Valgasteller from Luxo any question. What would that be? If the comment gets a lot of likes, I will, or if it's a good question, right? I'll ask it. I'll put it on my list.